Welcome back to another episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. I have paper. I have a pen. I have the brain in the head. And I'm ready to go at another round of the pub quizzes. Now, this is going to work the same way as always. Today it is me against the viewer. JJ is going to read 5 pages of pub quiz database stuff. This is, of course, all British, so there's always some British-themed questions. He'll read the question loud and clear and slowly.
Apparently, I'm not loud enough for people.
No. Loud is the one part that's just added, like, metaphorically. You're not clear and slow enough is the main thing. You read it out clearly and slowly and understandably. I will leave you a second of time, everybody out there. To answer the question for yourself, I will give my answer, and then JJ will reveal the answer, and we'll both, or everyone will tick off if they got it right or wrong. Now, fair warning, I'm feeling smart today. Okay, I'm feeling there's a lot of knowledge running through there, so it's gonna be a good one. We got 50 questions coming up. I'm ready to go. Let's lose. But the goal is 60%, as always.
All right. First of all, in the human eye, what are the cone cells responsible for?
For color perception.
That is correct.
That's a point.
Freaking what is the collective name for a group of dolphins?
Ooh.
I can tell that much. It's not what I thought it was.
So it's probably not a swarm, huh?
That is the first instinct.
Swarm. Could be a pod for some, like, fish. It's pod, but I thought it might be swarm. I'll say swarm.
It is a pod.
Okay. Unfortunate.
Ecclesiophobia is the fear of what?
Can you spell that?
Ecclesiophobia. I know I didn't need to spell phobia, I did it anyways.
Like, it's like... What? It'd be like chapels or something. Like old... Like chapel buildings. That's the... Like churches or something. That's the word origin. What? That makes no sense. That's what I'll say.
The answer is... churches.
Okay. So is that... Listen, man, I just learned something about myself. I clearly have ecclesiophobia. Thank you very much. Good to put a name on it. What up?
Which island did the mutineers from HMS Bounty settle on? The mutineers from HMS Bounty.
Somewhere in the South Pacific. I'll say, French Polynesia.
It's Pitcairn Island.
Close. But not close enough.
As of 2020, which city has the largest population? Moscow or London?
Moscow. Oh, I should have led some time there, but it's Moscow.
Is London that close that it's worth asking?
No. Moscow probably has like twice the population of London or something.
I mean, I was thinking that doesn't seem...
Moscow is by far the largest European city. By several million.
In the Thunderbirds television series, which character piloted Thunderbird 4?
Jennifer Aniston.
The question was for the character, not the actor. The answer is Gordon Tracy.
Close.
Sure. In the periodic table of elements, which element has the symbol P?
Phosphorus.
That is correct. That was also an easy question. What were the USSR first to achieve in 1959 with its Luna 2 mission?
That's when they landed the first spacecraft on the moon.
Yeah, I'm gonna count that. It says first man-made object on the moon, but I think...
It happened to be a spacecraft because it was about space travel.
And it happened to be man-made.
True.
Actually, there is a good chance... It's not a very good chance, but there is a chance it's not the first spacecraft just the first man-made.
Listen, if there was ever a rock that carried some like microscopical life forms, is it their spacecraft? I don't know.
Jarlsberg is a cheese originating in which Northern European country.
Is it spelled with a J or a Y?
It's Jarlsberg.
In which?
In which Northern European country?
Scandinavian. Denmark.
Norway.
Crap.
I mean, Jarl is, I believe, a monarch title in the northern area as well. But then again, it's like, once I tell you Northern European, you basically know as much as you're going to be able to guess if you don't know it. The sales pitch said this was a real tough toy for a real tough boy. What was the toy?
First of all, probably from the 50s or something.
It doesn't sound like something they would advertise these days.
It was a cot. Toy cot.
I will need you to be more specific.
So I'm on the right track. It's a toy pickup truck. Big pickup truck.
The answer is Tonka trucks.
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
I'm pretty sure it's the brand.
Yeah, I'm not counting that. I would have had to name the brand anyway if it was a specific brand slogan.
So,
I'm 50-50.
I was about to say, it seems 5 and 5. Yes. Second cheat. In what year was the first laser built? It's all caps. I don't know why, but...
the first laser... 1958.
Close.
No,
correct answer is 1960.
But it was still a guess. Okay.
Here's one you're going to know. Who was the president of the USA between the years 1977 and 1981?
Jimmy Carter.
That is correct.
This guy is still alive, by the way. It's crazy.
Oh, that is actually...
It's like 500 years old.
I mean, that was like... He ended his presidency 39 years ago? Yeah. Most people aren't that young when they start. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. As of 2020, Ataturk International Airports services which city?
Istanbul.
Not Constantinople.
Not Constantinople.
That is correct.
Said Constantinople, but he said as of 2020.
And as of 2020, they are in fact Istanbul. Mm-hmm. Not as in like it started in 2020.
Unfortunate, but Constantinople, of course.
In 1814, the White House was set ablaze and almost destroyed. Who was responsible?
Britain.
The answer is British troops, and they also named the war, but I think you know that. Yeah, during the War of 1812.
James Madison was president.
So I couldn't help but notice, as a side note, that in 1814 it was set ablaze in the War of 1812.
The war started in 1812.
Jesus Christ.
Sure.
A mutiny on which ship was integral to the Russian Revolution of 1905?
The Potemkin.
It is, in fact, the Potemkin.
Yes.
The molecular structure of DNA was identified in 1953 by which two people?
Watson and Crick.
That is correct. James Watson and Francis Crick, to be specific, but that I'll count for sure. Regarded as the first English Prime Minister, a role he had from 1721 to 1742. Who was he? That, by the way, is 21 years.
I feel like it might not have been him, but Robert Walpole.
It is, in fact, Sir Robert Walpole.
It was him. I sort of was not very confident that was actually it.
I also noticed that 21 conveniently is past 42, which is by no means interesting, but
hey.
I like numbers. The Channel Tunnel between the UK and France was opened in which year? Very straightforward question.
1993.
It is, in fact, 1994.
See, when you ever ask us, it's like you either know it or you know like approximately, and then you just guess like the rough window is close.
Who was the first pope to enter a mosque during his visit to Syria in 2001?
John Paul II.
It was John Paul II, and of course there's two ways to know that. Either you know who was pope at the time, or...
the guy was the pope for like 40 years or something. He was like a pope forever.
Yeah, I mean, it's also generally like either you knew who was Pope at the time or you knew who was the first Pope to do the thing.
Yeah. John Paul I was like Pope for 30 days, and then
Right.
John Paul II was Pope for like 30 years.
He was named after the other guy in honor of him, like, not making it very long.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, you know, if they had younger popes, that would be...
Hey, if they had younger popes, man. It's true.
Dude, wouldn't it be cool if they had younger popes?
It was like the only year of 3 popes in like 500 years or something.
In 1692, Bridget Bishop went on trial in Massachusetts and was found guilty of what?
1692. Magic. Probably something like it was witch hunt days.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that. The answer is witchcraft, but I mean, I obviously.
What does it? The next page?
1692. It doesn't sound like that long ago, huh?
It's true. I'm 13 and 7 currently. Looking pretty good.
Oh, you are. Well, you caught up quite a bit then.
Yeah,
because you were 5 and 5 before.
It's true. Those are some good questions.
Now you are only 2/5 of the way there.
True, but I'm on pace.
Living.
I'm on pace though. To get me these 60%.
24 Sussex Drive is the official residency of the Prime Minister of which country?
24 Sussex Drive, Canada.
That is correct.
Mr. Justin Trudeau.
Oh, is he still Prime Minister?
He's the Prime Minister of Canada.
I have heard the name before. I did know he was Prime Minister. I could not have told you when.
Okay.
I mean, I could have told you that it was during my lifetime. As a matter of fact, during the last couple of years, I didn't know if it was still the case. That being said, what is the family relationship between actors Sissy Spacek, I guess, and Rip Torn?
5th cousin 27 times removed.
Cousins.
Doesn't count, no. That doesn't count.
You could have just guessed that.
Yeah, I know. I should have probably.
Which sports film sees teen Danny Noonan employed as a caddy at the snob-infested Bushwood Country Club? Are there non-snob-infested country clubs?
I don't think so. Okay, so a sports movie about golf.
It's a sports... It's a sports film, yeah, exactly, about a country club. Yes, golf.
Yeah, of course, know that it's not true, but I'm gonna say Angels in the Outfield. Of course, it's about baseball, not about golf. But
it is Caddyshack.
Okay, it's Caddyshack. That makes a lot more sense because it's golf related.
What does the J in Mary J. Bilge, I think, stand for? The last name is spelled B-L-I-G-E.
Jade.
Blige, sorry.
Okay. Jade.
You said Jade?
Jade.
It is Jane.
Oh, God.
One letter off.
Hey, close. For a guess, it was pretty good. Okay.
You know what? Mary Jane seems like a very reasonable name, but yeah. I'm not saying I would have guessed correctly, but which English city appears in the Lancashire Inquisitions of 1226 as Signford? Which city appears as Signford? It's
Stratford. It's probably a typo or something. Stratford or Salford or something stupid like that.
What is your...
Stratford.
It is Salford.
Okay. Of course it's Salford. Fair.
I am bored with it all are said to be the final words of which world leader?
Churchill.
That is correct. It is Sir Winston Churchill.
Okay.
Oh boy. Which film won a 2020 Razzie for Worst Picture? I can tell you if it helps you, the Razzies are those sort of like joking awards for bad things.
Which films came out this year? I don't know. Fucking Avengers. That's all.
That was a good film that came out a while ago. It's Cats. Based on the famous musical of the same name. Which former British Prime Minister was born in with the forenames? I don't think that's supposed to mean that. I think it's just born with the forenames. Anthony Charles Linton.
Tony Blair.
That is correct. This is dumb. Justin Trudeau became the 23rd Prime Minister of which country in 2015?
Nice. Canada.
The correct answer would have in fact been Canada.
Yes. Nice. That was a good one. I like how they reference it back.
It's on the same sheet, too. I mean, sure, his name isn't mentioned in the first question.
True.
But you did bring him up.
It does come up, yeah.
Last question on this. Wow, I knew the answer to that, but you don't. The last question of this sheet is... Alec Holland is the real name of which superhero?
Jennifer Aniston.
From the DC/Vertigo universe.
Tom Hanks or Jennifer Aniston.
The correct answer is Swamp Thing.
Would have maybe also considered Peter Gibbons.
Wait, I know that name.
Office Space.
Oh. Second to last sheet. Your score is right now?
My score is 17-13, so I've gotten a bit...
It's getting worse, but you're around about where you want to be.
Yeah, I want to be 60%.
Who was the British Prime Minister when Elizabeth II became Queen?
Oh, that would once again be Churchill.
That is, in fact, Sir Winston Churchill. I feel like when they're asking for a British Prime Minister, it's like 50-50 of whether or not it's Churchill.
Well, I mean, we've had asks about John Major, Tony Blair, we've had about Thatcher, we've had some.
I was about to say, because
Brown.
Because I was going to say it's either Thatcher or Churchill, but sure.
A lot of them they were asked off before, actually.
I mean, it is a very British quiz.
Sure. Do you know the current one?
The British Prime Minister, is it still Boris Johnson?
Yeah, it's still Boris.
I don't know. But there's a decent chance that by the time this comes out, he was like lynched somewhere. I don't fucking know.
This is Boris. So.
Which actor, born in Ballymena, I think, in 1952, played Oscar Schindler in Schindler's List and Brian Mills in Taken?
Tom Hanks.
Liam Neeson. What is the collective name for the 8 small bones that connect the forearm with the hand?
Carpal bones.
Carpal bones is the correct answer. Relentless 12 Rounds to Success is the title of which English sports promoter's autobiography released in 2020? These questions are very current.
Yeah, 12 rounds, so that seems like boxing, so English sports promoter, fucking, what's the guy's name? John Buffer?
It is Eddie Hearn?
Okay.
I don't know.
Suji.
Wow. What is the first name of the German composer Wagner, born in Leipzig in May 1813?
He was a Nazi before it was cool in Germany. Richard.
It is, in fact, Richard. Yes.
I'm 20 and 15 at the moment.
Richard Wagner composed one of my favorite pieces of classical music.
Oh, whoa, look at me, man. I'm JJ. I got favorite pieces of classical music. Look at that shit. Get the fuck out.
It Takes a Village is a 1996 book published by which U.S. politician?
Hillary Clinton.
It is, in fact, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Which author, known for his book Fahrenheit 451, it's 451 is how we say it, I guess, said, living at risk is jumping off the cliff and building your wings on the way down?
Ray Bradbury.
I was about to say, I believe
I don't know he said that, but that's...
I was about to say, he's probably...
author of Fahrenheit 451.
more known for the book than the actual quote, but yeah. Who succeeded Boris Yeltsin as Russian president in May 2000?
Putin.
It is Vladimir Putin.
There you
go. UK crime television series DCI Banks stars which British actor in the title role?
Tom Aniston.
The correct answer is Stephen Tompkinson.
That's actually really close.
How is Tompkinson a name?
I don't know, man.
Like Tompkins or anything that ends with son. Like, don't
Tompkins and then they
overdo
have just son, and it happens a lot.
Which was the first James Bond movie to star Daniel Craig?
Craig Daniels' Revenge.
Casino Royale.
Of course.
Which I might have been able to come up with, frankly, but he has been in a couple of them by now. I think the most recent one is No Time to Die. Is that what it's called? In the last sheet, by the way, what's your score?
My score is 23 and 17.
That is
roughly on it still.
Yeah.
Roughly on pace. Last sheet.
In which city would you be if you were on the Ponte de Rialto?
Ponte de Rialto.
Oh, they pronounce the E's in that language? Okay.
Yes, Venice.
That is correct.
Italia.
The fear of open spaces is known as what?
Fear of open spaces. Hope I don't get it mixed up. It's agoraphobia.
That is correct. They really like their questions themed, huh? HMS Bounty famously suffered a mutiny by the crew.
Yes.
We talked about that?
It's true. Pitcairn Island. It's not... No.
But what was the mission the ship was on?
I think they were just like a cargo ship. They weren't a military vessel, just a cargo ship.
I mean, I don't know how specific you would need to be for this to be considered correct, but they...
More specific? Like
it is a cargo ship.
They were transporting goods, probably supplies.
This lists exactly what they were transporting and from where to where.
Oh boy!
You know how precisely we want to get.
They might have been going to Tahiti or something, but I don't know what they were transporting, and I don't know exactly where to where. So that's best I can say. South Pacific goods transport. Transporting
breadfruit from Tahiti to the West Indies.
You know what? That's a false.
I was gonna say like, I'll let you decide how.
No, that's cool.
In the television series Thunderbirds, we had that today as well. They are getting more and more themed.
Uh-huh.
After whom were the brothers' characters named?
Jennifer Hanks Gibbons.
From 5 of the original NASA Mercury Project astronauts. I mean, it did say after whom.
Yeah.
Which of the following elements has the lowest atomic number? Lithium, potassium, sodium.
Lithium 3.
Lithium is correct. Which toy, invented in 1943, is simply a compressed helical spring?
Slinkies.
That is correct. As of 2020, which team has won the FA Cup the most number of times?
The Washingtons.
It's Arsenal. Lukla Airport in Nepal is named in honor of 2 famous climbers. What are their names?
One of them is definitely Edmund Hillary. It's gotta be. Who is the other one? God, who else was a famous Everest climber? I'll just say Sir Edmund Hillary and then Tom Hanks.
It is Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. It's a funny name because his last name is Norgay. It's like Norway, the country, but it's
Norgay. Yeah.
Spelled gay, just like you'd think it would be.
Yeah, exactly.
The last 2 I know, so I would be disappointed if you don't probably know both, but at least the first one you should know.
Wherever I say it, I get ridiculed.
The first one you definitely know.
Okay.
What is the state capital of Texas?
Austin.
That is correct. I knew that. It's a geography question, so you should definitely know it as well. The second one I think you know, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
In the film, and I believe also the book, The Wizard of Oz, what is Dorothy's dog called?
Peter Hanks Aniston.
Toto.
Close.
You didn't know that?
I know this is like the one question out of like the 200 so far where you have a right for me to call me uncultured. Whenever you have like commit that exact offense 10 times every week whenever you get quizzed, but this time you actually have a right to be offended because that's classical literature and I'm not aware.
Isn't the whole I think we're not in Kansas anymore line literally fully actually Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Because I believe she says it to her dog, because that's the only person who's
you know where I know that
being that is with her at the time.
You want to know where I know the line "We're not in Kansas anymore" from?
Probably from a South Park parody.
From Office Space.
Oh.
Because in Office Space, Peter Gibbons meets Jennifer Aniston, and they call out that she's wearing the button that says "We're not in Kansas anymore." My knowledge about movies is limited, as you can tell by my regular answers. My total, 28 to 22. Not quite 60%. Close enough. I will take it.
Yes. Now, I guess we do facts, and then we do the Sunday crosswords.
We do facts and Sunday crosswords.
I might have not have pulled up, but then again...
28, 22. Let me know your score in the comments.
28, 22, so you're slightly below 60.
True. Sad.
Had you known total, you would have been a lot closer.
Yeah. Should have known that.
You would have only had half the distance to 30.
What else should I have known, but I didn't?
I don't know right offhand. I don't think there was...
I could have guessed cousins whenever I made a joke.
Yeah.
There was like maybe a possibility.
There was definitely one other that I knew that you didn't, but I didn't expect you to know either, which was the Swamp Thing one.
Exactly.
It's comics, but yeah. I still didn't expect you to know that. They did make a TV show about it, though, but still.
What's your fact of the week?
My fact of the week actually relates to classic literature, believe it or not. Which is a subject that was brought up earlier.
Good classic literature?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is so good, they made a TV show about it, which is my fact. They made a TV show about Brave New World that came out, last Wednesday as of this video being released.
Okay.
So... I figured...
Is it, very, close to the book, or have you seen anything about it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, and full disclosure, we were recording this before it came out.
So, I'm assuming you'll watch it.
It's something that we've talked about the book in the past. We probably mentioned it on the show before. Mm-hmm. So, I figured it was relevant to mention it, and quite frankly, I had to come up with a fact.
Fair enough. So, I'm assuming you'll watch that, and then maybe we can debate the topic. Okay. My fact of the week is in equal parts mind-blowing and kind of bit of a mouthful to explain. So, size of the universe, right? And like comparative sizes within the universe, okay?
Okay.
So, did you know that the really small, the microsphere is, relatively speaking, even a lot smaller than the macrosphere is big compared to us?
So you're saying that the size factor, if you had to scale down from a human to an atom, I guess?
Yeah.
Or even to subatomic particles, I don't know how far you're going, is a bigger factor than if you were to scale it up to the size of the universe.
Exactly. More particularly by several orders of magnitude. In fact, the average human, is 100 million times larger compared to the Planck length, the smallest distance possible.
that is a very small distance, yes.
Then the entire universe in relation to the human.
How many times was it?
100 million.
That's a lot of times.
True. So if the Planck length were 100 million times longer than it is, there would be as many Planck lengths to go across one human than it would actually take IRL for one to put humans throughout the entire length or the diameter of the universe.
Do you know right offhand how many Planck lengths there are, like an electron or something?
Not sure.
I didn't expect you to, but because I feel like Planck lengths are such an abstract thing almost that it's hard to think about that.
Yeah.
I can think of the universe. I can't obviously actually
somewhat
comprehend the scale of the whole thing, but I can, I know what it is, right? Mm-hmm. And I know what a human being looks like. That's very easy to comprehend.
If we had the scale of all things from the smallest to the largest possible, the human being would actually be in the largest, almost the largest third. Not quite the...
On a logarithmic scale, yeah. So Planck length, I know what it is. It's the smallest possible distance, but not something I can visually wrap my mind around.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I have a rough idea what an atom looks like.
To imagine wavelengths.
Granted, side fact, the pictures you always see of atoms, not to scale. Yeah. The distance between the the electrons and the atom core of neutrons and protons is way bigger than it's ever shown, because it's hard to be able to visibly fit everything on the picture
because they actually so small.
And still being able to see the individual particles.
So that's that. Yeah, the smallest thing is a lot smaller and the biggest thing is big. Compared to us. There we go. We have a streak of 2 deuces. 2 wins. And we're going to go 3 today. What is the topic of this
The topic is 4-letter world cities.
Oh, hell yeah. Geography. Let's knock it out. Oh, only a 6-minute one.
We might do 2.
Let's only do this one because we're already going quite long and we're going to have a discussion topic second. So we'll just do this one and we're going to get a win.
Can I say everything? Yes, you can. Hairless is bald. MASH actor Alda.
That's on you.
I don't know that. Famous last words. Hold my, I guess, beer. Cowboys quarterback Prescott is Dakota. I believe that is actually his full name, isn't it? Idiom meaning surprise is taken aback. Let's see. Alright, we look at that. I guess let's do this down one. 4-letter city in Switzerland. 4-letter city in Ireland.
Pork.
Oh, I have heard of pork. Is it cake? Yes, it is cake. French here. EC.
Oh, dude, look at that shit.
So much like presidential nominees.
Hey, that's Dwight Eisenhower.
VCR button is REC for report. Archive footage for computer files is RAR. Clumsy person is an oath.
They're just gonna do this whole thing by himself. Easy.
Also known as AKA.
Easy. What a
MASH
day.
actor I still don't know. Barnes & Noble e-reader model I actually also don't know. Mighty Tree is an oak. We have the 4-letter city in China. Geography questions. Xi'an? Xi'an, okay. 4-letter city in Ukraine, old spelling.
Kiev.
Oh, yeah, Kiev? Is that... How do they spell it now?
Probably with a W.
I guess. Japanese island that was the site of a major World War II battle, blank Yima.
Oh, there's some fucking many of them. Jesus Christ.
Relating to birds is avian. Let's do another city. 4-letter city in Italy, as spelled in Italian. Roma.
Yes. Got it. It's Ito maybe for the island. It might be Ito. Itojima.
Nope.
Itojima is something. Fuck that.
Iwo.
Oh, that one.
4-letter city in Latvia.
You're out on that one, huh?
Yes, I have no idea.
Riga.
Let's do all the cities real quick. 4-letter city in France.
Lyon, maybe? With a Y?
He said Y, I typed E. Because my brain was still like, how could I have misspelled Lyon? And 4-letter city in France. Another one.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. True.
Ugandan President Amin.
ED.
Common conjunction.
And?
Old Navy's parent company. To make good on a loan. Repay. It took me a second as well. When doubled a nautical yes. What is it?
Like I?
Oh, it could be II.
Yeah. II.
Right, yeah. Scale drawing of a geographic area is a map. There was also... Whoops, that's not a P.
Jesus Christ, dude.
It's right next to the P on my keyboard. I can't help it. GAP is, by the way, the... Oh, I have heard of that?
Yeah.
University Administrator
Dean.
is a dean. I have heard that as well before. SpaceX founder Elon is... Musk is Elon?
Yeah.
That way?
The God.
They usually ask it the other way around. I'm
I
not
know
used to
they
this. Barnes & Noble, and we still don't know the actress. We also don't know if there's a couple of letters wasn't there.
No.
That's the problem. The low overlap. We only have 2 minutes left. Rolling Stones album blank on
Exile.
Main Street is Exile. Before the present is Go. Slang affirmative is yeah.
Yes. What?
Yes is not
Yep.
Oh, yep could be. Yes. NASCAR's Earnhardt's first name. Dale. Already. Yeah. So we have across one here. Discharge. Empty. That doesn't fit.
No.
I mean, I
do the dumb one.
Paul's singing partner. Art.
Oh,
Paul Simon Art Garfunkel.
Smart. That's what they meant.
Emit.
Nice. Okay, we need those.
Barnes & Noble ebook reader model. And the actor Alda.
Actor.
I don't know, is it Adam? Is it a first name? I'm looking for a last name. I don't know.
Actors.
Just give me names that start with A, that first, last names, something, 4 letters, start with A.
Andy. God, no. What's the e-reader model, anyway?
I don't know. Book? It's probably not just book, is it?
No.
But it could be something that's playing on that word. I don't know. The short ones are hard.
Yes. God, no. Not this. Come on.
It's a very specific question, I feel like. Like, if they had asked for the Amazon ebook reader, I would have known that's the Kindle, obviously. That's the only ebook reader I know.
Not because of this shit, man. Come on, the street.
MASH is also pretty old, I believe.
What is MASH?
It's an old TV show, if memory serves. At this point, I literally can't type fast enough, even if you came up with both answers.
Oh, man. Oh, come on, man. That's stupid.
Dum. Alan. Nook. That could be a name, by the way. Alan Nook.
I blame you this time.
I answered like half of the questions.
Well, yeah, because I let you. I also knew half of all of those, but the actor, man, that's supposed to be your thing. I did the cities used with the actor.
So I guess it's Alan Alda, or is it Alda Allen? I think it's Alan Alda because Alda as a first name does not sound like a male name.
Alan Alda.
And
still weird.
Yeah.
Dude, those 6-minute ones are bullshit. Like they're always hard because of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
I mean, also low overlap.
That really just breaks the streak. That's stupid. Because
if we had known one of those two, we would have only needed 2 more letters, which is still a lot harder than other times when you only need 1 letter if you're lacking.
Remember how we had like a streak of like 10 before we start counting it?
To be fair, we also failed one of the short ones and then just did a longer one right after and said that doesn't count.
But still had like at least 1 streak of 5.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck, man. We need to get back on our crossword game. What the fuck ever happened to us? What has happened to us? Have we become like dumbasses or something? Come on. We gotta start being these again. Terrible. Alright. Second topic. Still some better here. What do we got?
Hypothetical questions.
Specifically?
What do you mean?
You wanted to ask hypothetical questions, and we're going to answer them hypothetically.
Yes.
Or we're actually going to answer them realistically, but in a hypothetical.
Yes, we get it.
Ask a question.
If you could be an NPC in any video game, what game would you choose to reside in?
My knowledge of video games is very limited. Probably not GTA because I know they just tend to get killed. Yeah,
I mean, I was thinking similar things about most of like anything that's large scale, kind of where it's like if you said like Warcraft or something, like cataclysm happens and all of a sudden you're killed. I was
thinking about that, but then
freaking plague happens.
Scourge, fucking anything. Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically NPC doesn't necessarily mean commoner, but chances are it means
just random
right?
NPC, right?
Yeah,
it could be. I guess if I were put with that, I'd pick World of Warcraft just because I know how stuff works and I know characters there. And if I would throw into any other one, I don't know what the hell to do.
I mean, I guess there's always like the safe quote unquote answers when you go if you're like Sims or something. And it's like you're just a person living in a neighborhood somewhere.
I've heard those also get killed a lot.
I mean, but that is generally I guess they're not technically player control, but like the player characters are the ones that people end up killing.
It's true.
So if you were an NPC in that game, I think it would just be a random person. I mean, yes, you would be, of course, under the control of whoever plays the game to some degree, but it seems relatively safe. It's just modern day life.
Kids game where no one ever dies, right? Like some game that doesn't involve like war or violence or something, which isn't exactly the type of games we play.
Yeah. Also, of course,
you know what?
Narrative is driven by conflict, so
I'd be in Madden because I'd just be a random fan in the stand.
I was about to say, if you're an NPC, you're just
Easy.
just a fan. That's true. Oh yeah, the coaches are also.
That's where
Yeah.
That's where I'd be. Found one.
WWE 2K, pick your year.
Right.
You're also still just
True.
a fan in the stands, or like a back. I guess you could be a backstage, like a person going backstage and getting chokeslammed somewhere.
Exactly. Don't want
The
that.
question would be, if you were a backstage person, would it be kayfabe, or would it be like, would you actually get
I
smashed?
don't know. It depends on what we'd count as NPC. Then I guess I'd still if you're not player controlled, you probably could also be kayfabe character. I don't know. I'd just go mad to be safe or something.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you pick like whichever one. I can just be like a regular person, because generally it sucks to be an NPC in video games.
Yeah, it's true. You're the first one to get killed.
You see the player hit the quick save button.
Oh no! Yeah. Oh, here we go again. Yep. Yeah. Not GTA. Anything else? What else we got?
You can choose anyone in the world to become friends with. Who would you choose?
Probably the guy we mentioned a couple of minutes ago. Maybe Elon is a very good candidate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you obviously. I feel like you would instantly go like Jeff Bezos or something.
Well,
like,
not Jeff Bezos, but like
anyone who has enough money to spend on their friends that it could be very useful.
But here's the thing, right? Elon is like
also a decently cool person compared to Bezos.
Yeah, like Elon is the only guy who is filthy rich, and I don't want to hang them for it. You know, like who's filthy rich but okay enough to not also be evil at the same time, not completely evil at the same time.
Yeah, I guess. Also, at a certain point of wealth, it doesn't really matter how much wealth.
Yeah,
and then it's just.
True.
I guess you would just have to pick a rich person who you know is willing to spend some money on their not so rich friends.
I feel like Elon is the kind of dude who could also just hang out with us and like Sergey and just have and like talk about tech stuff.
He could totally be on the podcast and just like talk about this shit.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, he'd be sitting back there smoking weed, being like, yo, let's talk about some tech stuff, man. Y'all seen the Catch-22 movie starring Art Garfunkel in it? That sort of thing, right?
We still have to watch that.
We still have to watch it, yeah. Sergey doesn't want to watch it because he wants to read the book first. We need to watch that damn movie. There's not time to do that. God damn it. Getting antsy.
Here's a weird one.
What we got?
And quite frankly, I don't know where this is going. If you had a pen with magical ink inside, what would happen when you wrote something?
So I could pick the magical effect of the ink.
I guess that's what they're asking.
Whatever I write down came true. That's what would happen. I write something down and it happened. This pen is actually not magical.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing you could do with that, but yes.
But then, like, does it come true or not?
I mean, yes.
But then it's not magical, so how does it do it?
It does it with its last...
This pen was never magical.
Okay.
This is a regular pen.
That gets more complicated, yes.
So last thing I would do, I would write some checks, if you know what I mean, right? But, whenever I'm done with like everything, I got my.
You're just filling out literal checks to people, but
they
never bounce because you all of a sudden you have money when you write the check.
But the money that I write down appears, obviously. Right?
I feel like that's the least creative use of a pen that makes anything come true that you write with it. But
you can also just write, "I have a bunch of money," right? Like now, a bunch of cash will appear.
I mean, I feel like you're making this unnecessarily complicated. Like, you want to have a bunch of cash to then buy things with? Mm-hmm. Why don't you just write those things into your life?
Well, but like cash is the most versatile one, and then I might want to use some of it just to invest and get more cash out of it, more money. You know, I don't just want objects, like just stuff.
Having money for money's sake doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it does because it makes more money.
That's not a good argument.
Yes, like it's like spending and consuming is one part, but investing is the other part.
That makes sense if you don't have access to anything you would ever want.
Yeah, but the pen might break, and I might want something else for money in 20 years in the future.
If the ink is limited, then you're making a way better argument all of a sudden.
I mean, I'm assuming it will.
I mean, I guess the first thing would
be that someone steals the pen. What the fuck? Like, you know this because obviously you see me write down there's a wad of cash, and then there's a wad of cash. Like, yo, can I borrow that pen? And I'm gonna be like, yo, you're my friend. Of course you can borrow that pen. And then you drop it in the manhole accidentally, and then it's gone.
Okay, first wish. The first thing, this pen is indestructible and doesn't run out of ink and stuff. Second.
And it's a carrier pigeon, so it always comes back
I was about to
to
say,
this house. No
second, with a single thought, I can summon it into my hand.
True.
Boom.
True. Yeah.
Done. Okay. Yes. There's two ways to always interpret these questions. These, like, if this and this were there, how would it be? It's either, how would you want it to be, which is what we just went into very extensively, or it's the more abstract ones that are hard to justify, like the whole, like, if you were an animal, what animal would you be? You can interpret that as what would you want to be, or what, like, fits your personality best, sort of a thing.
Great.
And at that point, it's like, I don't know. What would a pen... Dude, what would... Okay. If you got a magical pen like this, but... Yes. So, what if it had, like, more of a minor magical quirk that somehow fits with your personality? Because I think that's more in line with what people...
So what would that be?
I don't know. That's the fun part. That's why it's...
I would figure out what it is and then try to use it for financial gain.
I mean, I get that.
Obviously. Like you would do any anomaly.
I mean, that's not what I was asking. I wasn't asking what would you do with it. The question is what would it most likely be, right? Like because that, I think that is oftentimes how these...
Well, if it's supposed to match my personality, it would make cash appeal.
Oh, right, yeah.
What are we debating this for, right? You know where it goes. No matter what opportunity you give, we hypothetically know where it is going to go.
I think one thing is also very cool that I could totally see happen if I had something like this. Of course, if I could decide what it is, it's of course the wish granting thing because why not, right? Would be something that you can kind of already do, and that is the whole invisible ink thing, where like maybe like you write something and you can make it disappear again.
I feel like for you, it might be like you use it for note-taking whenever you play Dungeons and Dragons, and then it makes the stuff like visually real or something. You write the stuff down that you're gonna play, and then all the characters become real life and they walk around and stuff, and you could like control it in like a 3D sort of thing, but like not VR, but like real reality, but also like because of the pen, like realistic fucking Dungeons and Dragons gaming.
This is a weird one. If you could choose any vehicle to drive around for a couple of hours, which vehicle would you choose?
Any vehicle?
For a couple of hours.
What does any mean? Can I make one up completely in my mind? That, like, however I want it?
Oh boy. Let's say real existing thing.
Oh god.
I don't want you to come up with like a car that randomly spits out cash and you just like...
Yeah. A car that runs on rich people's blood and exhausts their money. That's what I'd want. Okay, so existing. Existing. I don't know. Like it'd have to be something like really cool, right? Like maybe like an airplane or a tank.
I was about to say personal jet, right? Like
yeah. I probably...
Wait, does this assume that I can also instantly when I get it know how to operate it? Because otherwise this would be...
Yeah, that's the other thing. Because it's a plane and you have to figure out a way to actually learn to fly.
Because otherwise I would have to go with like a really slick car. I don't personally care that much about cars besides the fact that, like they go places.
Yeah.
But I guess that if I didn't instantly know how to... Because I'm not going to pick an airplane and then just sit in the cockpit and like not know what to do, right?
I can see this. You're like in the huge fucking jet sitting in the cockpit just playing around. Like, it's like playing fighter pilot and stuff. Yeah, dude.
Otherwise, if I could operate it, I guess jet would make sense because that is just like the easiest way to travel.
Dude, you know what we do? We go to Georgia.
Yeah.
We have to have
the devil came to Georgia.
The two of them. Exactly. We
just go to Georgia and we come back later.
Yeah, we go visit
Hollywood. And then like, the jet disappears again.
And that's doable in a day. Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking, right? It's something like that where it's like, we just make a trip out of it, of something that we could actually, If you... Is that next one? Yeah, that's the one. If you could become 3 times bigger or 50 times smaller at will, which do you think you would spend more time as, big or small?
Normal.
You. What?
I'd spend most of my time normal and only use that ability whenever it's somehow needed in a movie.
Yes. Which one out of the two would I choose? Smaller.
Smaller?
Yes.
Why?
3 times bigger just seems very impractical and has very limited uses.
I'd use 3 times bigger for 2 hours a day whenever I play my professional NBA games. And make millions doing that, because I can dunk well on my knees. But
Yeah,
the smaller one, I don't think I'd use it other than...
okay, listen. First of all, there's two questions, right? Do we break physics or not? Because if not, then...
How are we not going to break physics whenever shrinking a human by a factor of 50 or growing them by a factor of 3?
Extra dimensional mass.
No.
No, the point is, I mean, okay, we'll definitely break physics. The question is square cube law, yes, no, because if yes, then 3 times larger is just horrible.
We'll say no, because
exactly.
of our estimate.
Although, if square cube law applies, smaller is actually even more fun, because then you can, like, jump really high and have a lot of proportional strength and all that stuff. Exactly.
I'd spend a couple hours a day in the big form to play my basketball games and put stuff on really high shelves, and then I just walk around normally the rest of the time.
I don't see a big use in the... I mean, of course, if you want to make a basketball career out of it, the big one would be...
Small is just...
It's so freakish that I'm not sure if you could get away with it.
Why not? Wait, you mean that, like, the $1 million franchise would be like, no, you're actually too good at basketball to sign with us? Like, we're not going to take you because you're too tall?
You like what? You're like what, 6 feet?
Yeah.
You would be 18 feet?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you would land in some sort of government science lab.
I could, like, reach across, like, all over the court, pick up the ball between my forefinger and my thumb and just drop it in the net. Let it bounce, pick it up, and do it again.
Again, government experimentation. You're a freak of nature.
Government can get fucked. I mean, I'll throw that tanks around. I'm not huge. But.
B, if there's, like, one person that is, like, that... like, insanely out there, they would probably, like, the league would probably not allow it.
Oh, why wouldn't they? I mean, don't think there's law against it. Like, whatever team I'd be on would be like, hey, that we're making sure this guy gets to play. Because they'll be like, hey, yeah, we're going to win every game, easy.
Which is why the league wouldn't allow it, because it's not entertaining television to watch.
Oh,
thereby, it's not going to make money.
They allow Patrick Mahomes, and he's basically that.
Yeah.
You see this new contract? You've heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Dude, he's got a new contract. 10 years, $500 million.
It's a lot of money.
That is more than twice the size of the biggest contract so far. That has never happened in football ever. Yeah. Novelty.
So the freakishly large thing is assuming you're not using it as some sort of a... I don't think it would work for professional sports, quite frankly. I'm not even sure how well you would fit into some of those places. I don't know. And probably
I can, like, walk out on the court, then just grow.
Yeah.
Because I can use that at will, so I'll be in the court in the arena, just 18 feet. Hey,
I imagine, like...
pass me the ball.
Someone...
Clay Thompson.
I was thinking, like, someone passes you the ball, and they, like throw it a little bit too high, and you're like... You got it.
Snatch. Dunk. Thank you, yeah. I could be dunking 3-pointers, dude.
Oh my god, yes, that is dumb. I love it.
That's awesome.
Oh god. But yeah, I mean, I would assume that reasonably that would not be a possibility. So now we're looking at other, like, real world sort of practical applications. I know.
Yeah. Other than if it's for some utility, I just walk around normally. The small one would just be a very incidental thing whenever you have to, like, dodge something. Like, I should not be here right now. I'm robbing a bank. It's small.
That's what I was thinking. Not necessarily robbing a bank, though. That is definitely a possibility. Sort of and that's exactly what I was thinking, right? You can get in and out of places. Which is why, for utility purposes, the small one is a lot more useful than the big one. When do you have to reach something that's 18 feet high, and how hard is it to get a ladder in that situation?
True.
How often do you have...
They don't allow ladders in the NBA.
That would also be hilarious. I would watch that, maybe. At least once. Like, basketball with,
I swear to God, pro sports is just the easy way to do it with that.
Yeah, but again, you're so freakish, I'm not sure, like, if you could, like, grow anywhere from your regular size to 3 feet at will, then you could probably be, like, you know, like 7'4" or whatever, like, the biggest reasonable-ish sort of human height would be, and not necessarily stand out as badly and still perform decently well. But yeah, like, 50 times smaller, you could probably fit through a freaking keyhole, and that would be easy to get up there. Some doors with, like, the bigger gaps in them, you could just walk under.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? You could get in and out of places
for stealth
very easily.
Sure.
Could be used for not So
I probably wouldn't be using it on an everyday basis though, because I just do my basketball career and then I just live the life, just hang out, you know.
again, I just think you more useful unless somehow you can get into a basketball.
You could, of course, if you don't get anything to make you money, just be perpetually small and build a tiny world around you. Like you're building yourself like a house, but it's the size of a regular room. But whenever you're 50 times smaller, it's a huge mansion. You live in a cardboard box, but it's giant.
I wonder how that would work with stuff like just eating, right? Like you make yourself a tiny meal, you eat it, you grow back. Are you fully sated?
That's a good question. It should be.
Because that would be a good money-saving mechanism.
You'd be eating on a pack of ramen for a week.
Absolutely. That being said, I think just the mobility advantage of the smallness would outweigh any sort of reach advantage of the bigness on a general scale. Do you want to do another one?
Let's do one more. What we got?
If you could redesign the human species, what parts would you add on or take out?
The telecommunication brainwave stuff. Definitely.
Wings.
Wings?
Not actually plausible, but...
Yeah, no. Fucking telepathy, man. Like, for everyone. Like, you know how in Key and Peele there's black eye telepathy?
Not
or telekinesis or something, whatever it's called.
Telekinesis is moving things with your mind.
Yeah, telepathy then. The communication.
Yes.
Mind reading and all that. And it works like, it works sort of like a regular, digital communication software, wherever you have like an ID or something, and you have to dial it. Like I could just like, dude, I can dial your brain, and then you'd be like, hey, Alex is calling me in a brain way, and they're like, do you pick up or not? And if you pick up, you can just telecommunicate in a brain way.
That would definitely be interesting. Yeah. The first thing I was thinking is like actual things that already exist in nature, but yeah, that's definitely an idea. The problem with giving stuff to people is, of course, that everyone has it, so you would have to pick something that optimally you would have the most use out of.
I guess also... Oh, I would have the most use out of.
Because optimally you would give yourself a competitive advantage somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And that advantage can only be given if with your own already existing natural abilities, you could make the most use out of that new thing.
True.
Or you just pick whichever one is generally the most useful, which is what both of what we said would kind of fall under. Of course, if we just had wings, we still couldn't fly because of just mass, but which is why that is not a good idea. I don't think there's anything that would be helpful to remove.
Okay.
I mean, okay, we could remove stuff that we don't need. That is leftovers, like
stuff,
wisdom teeth,
appendices.
Yeah, like all of that stuff that you get that people get removed during their life because it just makes an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True.
Ooh. What do we remove? Every given disease.
Yeah.
I guess genetically based ones because other ones aren't in the human species itself,
exactly.
but still.
But still, like super resistance to that, just added in.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Well, yeah, I would make like a super hidden trait, like because I can do anything to modify it. So it'd be like something that like no one would ever discover, where you do a combination of weird things, like messing around with your nose and whatnot, like just weird movements.
Don't think about kittens.
Correct. That sort of thing. You do like some kind of weird like within like GTA cheat code style, just button combination.
And then you activate God mode.
Then you activate. Exactly. You grow 2 feet and you can dunk from a 3-point line. But I'm the only one who knows it, and no one else does, so it just seems like I'm the best basketball player ever and I'll be sitting there at the sideline, right? They'll be like, I'm gonna just be standing there with the rest of the team, and then all of a sudden I just do like this weird, I look like I have a seizure, but really I'm just doing the thing, and all of a sudden I go out and I just ball.
I don't know why basketball is like the peak human evolution thing, but
because it's a way to make good money. It's the best cross section of making money at relatively low risk to really. I would go football, but of course health risk. It's a way of making really good money, crossed with an interest of mine, with decently good health outcome. If I could play any sport professionally, I would pick basketball. Absolutely. I like football more than basketball, but football you go out there, you risk, like, you're legitimately accepting that you could die every day, every time you play, right? In basketball, not so much. You could dislocate an ankle. And it's like it's like the sport that I like the most that is also not in like danger of killing you. Right?
Yeah, I don't think like immediate death is as much of a threat in football, but there's definitely a lot of like long-term detrimental things to your health.
Your head hit in bad ways.
Yeah, I mean, CTE is a bit of an issue. Also, like, probably a lot of your like joints and shit won't be the same after. Like,
you could go with something like golf or something that also pays a lot of money, but then I just like basketball more. So
yeah,
that's where I usually go whenever I talk about that.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of traits that you could add to humans that would improve us. There's also, I'm not sure, like, just heightened senses would be somewhat useful to certain degrees.
Smelling sense, like
smelling especially, yeah. Dogs can smell cancer. That's crazy.
Like a hound, like a bloodhound, who would smell like individual beings from like miles and miles away, dude.
Yeah. Also, again, just the ability to smell out diseases is crazy useful if you're a human being that actually understands what that means, rather than having to be trained by someone who understands to recognize it and then only being able to point it out. Have some
sense of smell, like some like owls.
I was about to say a sign of like some sort of raptor, like,
and then like echolocation, like all those sorts of things, right?
Echolocation can be learned by humans to some degree.
Yeah, it's true. Some blind people do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just hyper awareness about all that stuff. And the weird seizure thing that makes you a pro at bat.
How about I'm trying to think. I would like it also just heightened intelligence, but like to a point where it also eradicates some of the stupid things that aren't necessarily intrinsically tied to pure computational ability, right? Like ignorance and stuff.
Like emotional intelligence.
Yeah, sure.
Like very highly logical operation.
Yes, but without being like dystopianly levels of like large over emotions.
Like people just neglect to do dumb stuff just because they know better.
Yes, yeah, that would be. I think
Ted and Stanley become regular citizens. Yeah. Stop reenacting Jackass.
I was about to say, I think this is one of those things that would. I mean,
these guys will go fast on skateboards.
I don't know how I'm going to say this without sounding like too much of an asshole, but I think this would help us less than some other people.
Yeah.
But it would help overall society so much that it would still be.
Though it would definitely have like dystopian factor to it, because no longer are people like Ted and Stanley doing crazy shit on skateboards, which is fun for us to look at.
Yes, and
I like
them while they're not getting hurt.
Yeah, I like watching Jackass. They like doing Jackass.
Yeah, no,
maybe it should stay that way.
Yeah, but also like imagine we live in a world where people are clever enough to not fall for deceptive tactics that teach them that climate change isn't real.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine a world where science can progress reasonably. I mean,
no religion.
Exactly, right?
Basically whatever John Lennon was saying in that one.
Yes, that!
True.
You're not wrong.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. So, yeah, common sense.
But also, again, with science, you run into the issue, of course, in the, I guess, common sense up there too, where it's like,
common sense, but still the ability to choose to just do crazy shit whenever you want to. So we can still have people like Steve-O for an opinion.
Because, with science, you gotta be careful that, like, the whole thing, like, you spent so much time for asking if you could that you neglected to think about it whether or not you should. Because science does that sometimes.
Yep. Resurrection of dinosaurs and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, they made a movie about that. Actually, they made a whole series of movies about that.
Everything. They also made a movie about a book called Catch-22, in which Art Garfunkel stars as Nately, which we have
and they made a TV show about Brave New World.
True, which you have to watch. And
a movie too, but that was like a while ago.
Okay.
Way back when.
Then we'll talk about it.
Yes.
But I think that's enough for today. Let us know what you would, how you would answer those hypotheticals, if there was anything interesting. Your score from the pop quiz in the comments, and that's pretty much it. We have a song of the week, and then we're out of here. JJ, what is your song?
My song of the week, at risk of having used it before, is Starman by David Bowie.
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman
Keep going.
I might have used it before. I'm not sure, but it's one of those songs that I didn't like particularly much when I very first heard it, but I've grown to like it more over time. It's not one of those where like every time you hear it, you like it more, but it's definitely one where my opinion at some point has definitely changed a little bit. Not that recently, but...
Two things. For one, best Bowie song, I believe, unless I'm missing something. And secondly, I was actually looking at that song as a potentially, could I use that today? But then I had the same thought, like, I think JJ probably used that before, so I didn't use it.
I wasn't sure if I had. I know I've used Bowie songs before. Not sure if I've used that one before.
I think it's my favorite Bowie song.
I don't think it is mine, but it's definitely one of my favorite.
I'll have to look at which one. I don't have that many. But my song of the week is, might have also been used before, is Gravity Won't Win by Scott Ledger. If it was used before, it was a while ago.
I don't think we've used it before.
I might not have. It's a pretty good one. It's like, yeah, good song. So those are our two songs of the week. Let us know yours in the comments. Hopefully you heard snippets of those songs, unless we got copyrighted for it, in which case it didn't. You have to go look them up yourself, but hopefully it did work. And that's all we had to say. Your score, your hypothetical answers to hypothetical real questions in the comments, and we're gonna tear this thing down and get a new sheet out there because the 6-minute crosswords are freaking stupid. I hate it. Thank you for watching the podcast. Drop a like on it, and we're gonna see you next week. JJ.
That's it.
That's it.